Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Breakfast with Randy. I'm Randy Reed, co-founder of the Washington, D.C. Archangels and networker extraordinaire, if I do say so myself. And we're here with Leah Hulse, who's our new associate with the Washington, D.C. Archangels. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Randy. Not so morning anymore, but we're
So we had a big okay. Still a good day. So we had our last session about networking, and there's so much to talk about networking because it's such an essential skill for anyone. I don't care what business you're in. You have to learn how to network. You have to do it properly. And there's a lot of do's and don'ts, believe it or not. But once you get the hang of it, it's really not that hard. It becomes second nature to you. And in fact, it has to be second nature to you because a lot of times networking are done at cocktail events when you're drinking some alcohol. And so if you get tired or a little drunk, you still have to know how to network properly. So it really should become second nature to you. But after you've done a dozen of these events, you start to get the hang of it. So just to recap, one of the things I was suggesting is that if you're at any event whatsoever, there's at least 10 things you have in common with every person in that room. Something that you can use as a hook to get you started on to talk about. Do you remember what some of those are, Leah?
yeah. So we discussed whether it's the reason we came to the event,
Right,
or the subject matter that we heard, or
right.
what the weather was on the way, whether we like the wine or not.
Yeah.
Drinking.
It could be, there's so many different things. Uh, you could even compliment somebody on their tie, for instance. Wow, that's an interesting tie. Where'd you get that? Anything at all. It seems a little forward, but again, remember at these events, a lot of people are not good networkers. And especially if you target people who are sort of like wallflowers, they're standing off to the side and they look a little embarrassed because they're just drinking their glass of wine by themselves or eating their little plate of cheese. And they're trying to not seem very, out there. Those are the people you want to go up to, and they will be forever grateful to you. Believe me, that you went up to them, relieve them of their awkwardness. And so you can say anything at all to them. They will be delighted. You can compliment, say, "Oh, I noticed you've got nice hair over there. I noticed that you've got a nice tie." Or you asked a really good question during the question and answer. I wanted to follow up with you on that. There's they will be happy to talk with you. And then after that, even if you can't think of anything, okay, you just go up to them and say, "Hi, I'm Randy Reed." And you extend your hand for a handshake. That's all you have to do. It's that simple. People are there because they want to network, and they'll be so happy that you did that for them.
I just imagined you walking up to them and saying, "Hi, I'm Randy Reed. Do you feel as shy as I am right now? Because if you do, we found each other," or something very silly to break the ice.
Yes, it can be anything at all. It really doesn't matter. Um, you know, just don't be artificial. You know, don't go up there with, "Hey, baby, what's your sign?" Yeah, this isn't a bar, okay? And don't ask a question because someone told you this is a good question to ask at a networking event. It has to be something you think is a good question. It doesn't have to be the most fantastic thing, but it has to sound authentic from you. Otherwise, it will come off sounding a little fake and phony. And people can sense that a mile away, that you're just trying to network for the sake of networking. Okay. So again, real easy, I think, to do that. The hard part is overcoming your own fear. But here's the one thing you will, unlike a bar, you will not be rejected. Everybody wants to be nice. They will be happy to speak with you for at least a few minutes. Now, they may be looking for somebody else, or they may not think that you're terribly interesting, but they will at least be polite and listen to what you have to say, and you can have at least a few minutes of good conversation. But no one will really outright reject you. If they do, on the rare occasion that they do, and this has happened, where you introduce yourself to somebody and they think that you are beneath them or you're not the type of person that can help them in their career. I have heard instances of people who say, "Yeah, I'm so-and-so and I work at the Department of Labor," and someone will literally turn around and walk away from you, okay, because you're not of any value to them. Good. These are people you don't want to network with anyway, okay? If they are absolutely rude to you, or they don't want to talk to you for whatever reason, better to find that out now than to waste your time, okay? So there's no downsides. So even if a person's rude to you, good. That means that that's a person you don't ever want to talk to again. You don't want to waste any more of your time. Okay, so you don't want to be that person. But if it happens to you, that's fine. So don't be worried about it.
Do you have a story of where you approached somebody and it was either it was something embarrassing or it was something awkward, and how you recovered from that?
I was once at an event, and there was food, and you had little plates, and I was talking to someone. He had his plate full, and something happened, and literally his plate flew across the room. I don't know what he did. It was entirely his fault. It wasn't anything like anyone bumped into him or something, but he just lost control of it somehow. And food went all over the floor. The plate rattled down the floor, created a big mess, and he was horribly embarrassed. And so all there's not much you can do. Nobody made a scene out of it, though. Some people offered to help by picking up some food because, nobody wants to step into that or slip and fall. Okay, so a few people, we chipped in to kind of clean up the mess a little bit. And he said, "Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry." And, all you just to do is just to say, "Oh, don't worry about it. These things happen. Here, get another drink. You need one." You just make sort of light of it. Okay, if it's something embarrassing happens like this, and occasionally something will happen. Maybe you have a wardrobe malfunction, God knows, or or you suddenly go into a coughing fit. A lot of things can happen. Again, just be relaxed. Don't make a big thing of it. Laugh it off. Let the person know you are not embarrassed. There's nothing wrong. If it happened to you, just make the best of it, laugh it off, and then slink off to the bar and get another drink.
What is one recommendation that you have, for instance, for people that are in a big group and they see there's two people talking, 3 people talking, 4 people talking, 1 person talking? What's the best person to walk up to?
The person who's not talking to anybody. There will always be someone there who's standing there by themselves. They're lingering at the food buffet because they have no one else to talk to. They're off to the side. Avoid the groups that people are already talking. That's my strategy. Now, if you happen to know someone there already, then okay, go right over in there and just stand there. And it should be someone should introduce you or say, "Oh, hi, Aaliyah. Haven't seen you in a while. How's it going?" And then just a quick, "Hi, this is my friend Aaliyah Hulse. Aaliyah, you've been helping us with DCR changes. So what's new?" Include them in the conversation. The rudest thing is to have such an intense conversation, and then another person comes up wanting to talk, and you completely ignore that person. Okay, then that person feels awkward. So you don't want to ever do that. Remember, this is not about substance. It's not about what you're talking. It's about the impression you're going to leave. So you may not see any of these people for another month, several months, maybe even several years. No one, including you, no one is going to remember what you talked about. You will not remember what you talked about, unless it was so fascinating, okay? But most people will not remember what you talked about. The one thing they will remember is whether they liked you or not, whether it was a pleasant conversation or not. That's what they will remember. How you made them
feel, right?
And how you felt, yes. If that person made you feel like this, oh, you'll remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if the person made you feel important, or had a pleasant conversation, all you'll remember a couple of months from now when you run into them again is, oh, this person was really very nice. I enjoyed talking with them. I can't remember what I talked about. So that's if there's one impression you want to leave when you're networking, it is just that you are a pleasant person to talk to.
And one of the strategies I have is, especially if I'm talking with a group and there's somebody else coming up to me and I know that networking is not so easy for them. If somebody is already in the conversation, I will put my hand on the shoulder to kind of let them know that when they're done talking, I want to introduce this person. But obviously, we got to be careful who it is. It's somebody that you know very well and so on. So we've talked a lot about how to network during the evening. How about after the evening is over? You have a stack of, business cards. What do you do with them? Do you throw them in the trash afterwards? Or hang them on the wall?
Here's what you don't do. You don't go home and take those business cards and then input them into your database, and now this person is going to get emails, a newsletter from you for the rest of their lives. Okay, don't do that, please. Okay, I did not network with you just so I could get another promotional email out of you, promoting your services week after week after week. Okay, that is not what networking is about. Okay, and a lot of people will do that. I've had that happen to me often. I give out my business cards and then I start getting emails, not even emails, but just announcements from the company they work for or the company that they operate about how wonderful this company is and it can do this and this and that for you and all that sort of stuff. Okay, I didn't ask for that. Okay, I didn't ask to be put on your newsletter. I didn't ask to be a target of your promotion. I think that's a little rude. Okay, ask me first if I want to be on your newsletter. Okay, so what I would, and also the other thing, of course, is you don't want to just let those cards linger, just sitting on your desk. The best thing to do is within a day or two, just send a quick note saying, oh, great, nice to meet you. Reference the conversation you had of some sorts. Love to follow up with you. If you have time for coffee in the future, please let me know. Or if you're in town, or what you're doing sounds really fascinating. There's some overlap with what I'm doing. Just any little thing to. I do it just so it's in my email system. So the next time I contact you, the email comes up very quickly. So because you do remember those people, and so send an email out, just a friendly email recapping that. And here's the other important thing, and this frustrates the hell out of me. Put a signature in your email of your contact information. I am so fed up that in today's day and age, I get an email from XX6730 at Comcast, who that person is, and then the email just says, hey, Randy, great meeting you. Signed, Tom. Tom who? I don't remember, or something. Or maybe I want to call you or contact you. Where's your phone number? And your email isn't even very good. I can't figure out your name from your email. I don't remember your company. Is it really so difficult to have at the bottom of every email that you send out? You can put this through on your email accounts. Your full name, your company's name, your email address, and your cell phone number. Now, maybe you don't have to put your email address in there because but there's so many times I talked to somebody 6 months ago, or I got an email from 6 months ago. I really want to contact them. So I find the email, and all I've got is, now how can I reach you? I can't reach you. So I give up. And I find this with companies, with professionals, people across the board. Right today, fill out the signature in your email and have full contact information in there so that I remember who you are and where you worked, maybe even a little tagline about, a favorite quote of yours or something about what you do. I don't know. I don't care. Just put something in there that I can reach you when I want to reach you. Okay.
So I have a strategy as well because my memory is really bad, even though I'm kind of younger. Uh, whenever I talk to someone, like I try to make it personal, right? I try to remember something
Yes.
about them, and obviously I can't take their card and write things down right away. But as soon as I get in my car, I take about 5 minutes and I write down notes. This person has 2 kids. We talked about I don't know, flower pots. We've taught or we laughed because they spilled their wine on me or something of that sort,
Yeah.
so that when I reach out to them, and I try to do it within the first 24 hours, but
Yeah.
not later than 5 business days, and write to them, great meeting you. I can't believe you spilled your wine on me, but I survived. Or it was, I was so grateful to learn about your ski experience to Australia or something, so that it also helps them remember who I was. Right. So
Absolutely.
obviously it's so important to have your contact information. I don't even know. This is so funny. I've never received those where there's no contact information.
I get them all the time. I get them all the time. What you're saying is very, very good. Now, here's the problem, though. Suppose you went to a networking event and you've got 20 cards. It's not unusual. If you're a good networker, you collect 20 cards. And you had 3 or 4 glasses of wine. It's hard to remember the next day who was who, even the next day. So, or you go worse, you go to a convention or some event where there's a lot of people there, hundreds of people, and you collect, a dozen cards, 20 cards, something like that. It's easy to do that. How do you follow up with them? Okay, so if you can do what you suggest, absolutely do that. But sometimes it's not always practical. Sometimes you don't remember that person, literally after one day, because maybe you only talked with them for just a couple minutes and you exchanged cards. But that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't mean that every person you're going to meet is going to become your best friend and a business associate or whatever. I've got thousands of business cards that I've collected over the years. I've been to China, foreign countries. Sometimes they're all in Chinese. You can't even read the emails. So I still get emails that are all in Chinese sent to me. So you do the best you can. Okay, you just do the best you can. But the important thing is to get your face out there. Network, network, network. People want, and the more you start doing this in any community, the more your face will get out there, the more people start recognizing who you are, and then they assume that you know what you're doing and that you're well connected. That's the real point of all this, is to get yourself active and out there. And I think that's a very good thing to do. That's really the best networking. When you can walk into an event and you already know several people from previous events or activities that you've worked on, then you're in the middle. And then that enhances you. Then everybody wants to know, who are you? Because you seem to know everybody. It just builds on itself.
I was going to add one more thing, what you mentioned about drinking. Depending on your tolerance level, I also would urge people not to get past 1 or 2 glasses of wine during the networking events, because
Yeah.
I have met quite a few people, and I remember those people very well, that have gotten completely trashed during networking events.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you remember them very well.
Yeah, in a negative way.
Not sure whether you want to do business with them. And it's fine when you go out with your friends and get trashed, that's okay. But if you're in a networking event and you start slurring your speech or saying things that are not very appropriate because you're drunk, not because that's your personality, you'll be remembered, and most probably people will not want to do business with you.
But actually, if you say something that's inappropriate when you're drunk, that is your personality. Okay. All the alcohol does is lower the inhibitions.
I say inappropriate things all the time, whether I drink or not. So that's not a that's not an indicator.
Right. Yeah. But no. Yeah. Seriously, if you change your personality because you're drunk, that is a red flag. that means that that's your really is your personality and that you're hiding it. Yeah, but networking events are not the time to have fun and party. It's a networking event. It's a professional event. You should take it seriously in that manner. You can have fun, of course. You can enjoy yourself. But always remember that. We're probably running out of time right now,
Yep.
but I would just wrap up by saying, have fun at these events. Don't put a lot of pressure on yourself that you have to network or you have to collect X number of cards or you have to follow up with everybody. We'll talk about that in the next one, how to follow up and what you should do the next time you run into somebody. Okay, how about that for the next Breakfast with Randy?
Sounds awesome. I love it.
Okay, excellent. All right, sounds good. Well, Aaliyah, have a great day, and we'll see everybody next week. And please send us your questions. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. See you next week.